witness.
Then you can't bring the video in.
And why are you trying to play the video?
Your Honor, the video is evidence. One, it's relevant. The video itself, or the
Parties of whom?
The parties being Mr. Williams and Mr. Carter.
They're grasping at straws trying to connect Thug to this. Obviously, Wayne and Thug had a little bit of a beef back then, but that does not mean Thug sent people to shoot up his bus. Thug was in a different state. There's no real solid evidence of any of this.
It's a compilation video of a number of things put together by DJ Akademicks.
A DJ Akademicks video? What?
Found not only this, but other similar videos that don't contain DJ Akademicks' breakdown of what the relationship is. Because the rest of it is DJ Akademicks' breakdown of what the relationship is, and the rest of it contains self-serving statements, I would argue, by defendant Jeffrey Williams that were not shot at the same time.
Who's
were
DJ
shot.
Akademicks?
A person who was posting on social media that was chronicling, a blogger of sorts that was chronicling the relationship between.
So is she coming to testify?
So we're
Is she coming to testify?
DJ Akademicks is not, and we're not, again.
How are you going to introduce these particular videos?
Relevant party sites. For instance, Lil Wayne, Dwayne Carter, posted certain things on his Twitter site.
All right, Brian Steele's about to talk. Let's see him shit on all of this because it's ridiculous.
First of all, you already ruled on motion limited number 49. It's their theory of the case, basically, and you excluded it all already. And the state said specifically there's several things. So we got a compilation of exhibits and slides that the state wants to use. Dwayne Carter, he's a performer known as Lil Wayne. He is not coming to testify. He's on the state's witness list. I asked if he's coming. They said no. They have no intention of calling him. So he's not a non-witness. So all of his statements are out-of-court statements. The prosecution says it's not hearsay because it's not being used for the truth of matter asserted, yet they say it is being used for the truth of matter asserted to show a relationship, and it's intrinsically intertwined. So you can't have it both ways. If it's not for the truth of matter asserted, then you don't care what he says, or it's a lie. But they're saying, no, it's actually an argument that Lil Wayne is angry at Jeffrey Williams. If it's not being used for truth of matter survey, it shouldn't come in because then it doesn't show any relationship. These are little segments, and he's making statements. I have no idea. I would tell you if I could get it. I have no idea what was said before or after those statements. There are a lot of people. These entertainers are really busy, especially when you get to a certain level. They have people controlling their social media. So I don't know who posted it, why it was posted. Was it posted with the permission of Lil Wayne or not?
There's only one corner. You need. I'm sorry before I go any further. I want y'all to do me a favor. If y'all ever have Rich Gang or whoever it is in this country, y'all let them know I said.
He said F Rich Gang. People in the crowd are saying F Young Thug. They're gonna have to redact that, right?
I want y'all to do me a favor and stop listening to songs that of niggas that post naked on their mother.
The f***ing gunshot sounds in the background. Don't listen to Thug's album because he's posing naked on it. And apparently this video helps the state prove that YSL as a gang was attacking Lil Wayne.
Yeah, YSL. Carter 6 coming out Friday, first show. New Orleans, Holly Grove. Nigga, meet me there.
So he's saying Carter 6, and he's gonna go to Lil Wayne's hometown for a show to promote the album that Lil Wayne's mad about. I mean, just grasping at straws, a big reach, doesn't really prove anything.
From admitting a statement of his own client, because that would be a self-serving statement that the state would not have the ability to cross the person making the statement on.
He is appealing, but you went to admit, or neither of these, neither of these events, as you said, are required to present anything.
Right. Being offered for the truth of what Mr. Carter is saying.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to respectfully disagree with you.
It's just showing that he said that, Your Honor, and it's being...
But it is for the truth of the matter asserted. It's a relationship, but you're using what Mr. Carter's saying. Now, if you tell me Mr. Carter's coming, well, then he can give context to it. That's why I asked you, is Lil Wayne or Mr. Carter coming to testify?
Lil Wayne ain't coming, bro. I can promise you that. Classic Ms.Love trying to sneak in shit, saying it's not for the truth of the matter asserted when it low-key is.
You're going to have some problems. I'm just going to tell you right now, admitting this evidence, because even the guy that's doing this compilation, he may not know anything about it. And you're not having him come and testify and give some basis. So I'm not going to let you present that evidence unless, because it is being offered for the truth of the matter asserted. It has confrontation clause issues that go along with it. So unless you tell me Mr. Carter's going to come here, put his right hand up, and then he's probably in a better position to talk about, yeah, I made that video, or I didn't make that video. Here's the context of what was going on, what is behind that, and any other things that are relevant for the purposes of that.
The judge put his foot down. Thank you.
Its effect on the listener, Your Honor, is the other.
I'm telling you, I'm not going to allow that. So let's just move on from there, okay?
Your Honor,
It's done, Ms.Love. He said, let's move on. She's going to keep yapping for 15 minutes. Watch.
isn't always
So you're
the
still
way
going to
the
argue,
court
right?
says. Judge, I don't want to
Okay,
be
all right.
perceived as still
I'm just telling you right now. You can introduce the evidence. You're just not. This is like I told Mr. Steele, but you cannot introduce it in that manner and method. It has too many other problems and objections that go along with it. So, if you want to bring Mr. Carter in here, then fine. You'll have less of a problem getting this in. I understand what you're saying about relationship, but it's still the words themselves, and since there's no confrontation as to it, I know what the purpose of the federal rules of evidence, or the state rules of evidence are, which we pattern. Right. So please don't be condescending to me, Ms. Love. No. I know. I mean, I rule upon the rules of evidence every single day. I get something right, something wrong, and that's why, and that's the purpose. But it's got to be relevant, and it's got to be for a particular purpose. Now, I'm telling you, if you get Mr. Carter in here, then you'll solve a number of your problems. I'm not saying it's not relevant. Okay, I'm not saying it's not for a particular purpose, but you don't have the right foundation
to present to the court.
Okay, how are you going to show context? How are you going to show context when you don't have Mr. Carter here saying what actually was being played and what he meant by it? How are you because it's got to have some particular background,
Your Honor, that would go
or
to
relevancy.
Well, Your Honor, the relevance would be for number one. We've said that the relevance, Your Honor, would be
the relationship. That's what you said.
And so
but the actual statements themselves it would be for the truth of the matter asserted. Do you understand though that a detective is probably not the person that if you're going to say effect on listener, that it actually would have to be someone else? Because your detective is pulling this from a public site. It's still going to be a foundation issue. That's what you got to overcome. I'm telling you right now. You know, just like I told Mr. Steele.
And Your Honor, the reason
I'm talking is that you got to have the person that is here. I mean, you need to have.
She's trying to interrupt him.
We're not going to compare Mr. Steele and his particular. That was just an objection I made.
That's a good point from the judge. She keeps comparing what she needs to do to the defense when the defense don't have to do anything. These guys are presumed innocent. They don't have to do shit.
So you ruled on this 3 times. I was asking if I could just go outside and wash my hands and come back. It keeps going on and on.
No, you're welcome to that.
Wait. He asked to wash his hands?
Do you wish to be heard on this issue anymore, sir? No. Okay. All right.
Steele says, nope, you already ruled on this. Why are we talking about this? You already ruled. Ms. Love's going to keep yapping.
And Your Honor, so the court, that we provide to the court a non-hearsay purpose. So the court,
No, I'm not this time. No, you need to. I'm telling you, the foundation. It's still going to have hearsay in it. You're still, I'm telling you right now. Now, if you tell me, like I told you this 5-6 times now. If Mr. Carter's coming to testify, you're not going to have any problem with this.
Because she knows Lil Wayne ain't coming. She's trying to get around that.
Who, Lil Wayne? And you're saying Mr. Carter? You've got him on a witness list at this point in time. You still haven't been able to show unavailability.
even though he's available as a witness, it shall not be excluded by the hearsay rule.
Does she ever stop? He ruled over 30 minutes ago. She's still yapping. He needs to control his courtroom.
So anyone's state of mind when they're speaking then, according to what I just heard, then you don't have to bring them in court?
Yeah. I'm not buying that one, Ms.Love. It seems like you all are trying really hard not to call Mr. Carter. And that's your choice.
Brian Steele just said one sentence, and the judge agreed. He was like, yeah, I'm not buying it, Ms.Love. So some tweets of Lil Wayne saying, my legacy will still be continued by me. Them fake ass thugs. Word to slime. The Carter gonna be late, but wait on it. Don't listen to them fakes.
That particular motion is the subject of this video, which they reminded me has already been, the motion for which has already been denied.
If that order was signed, Your Honor, it's because the state presented you with a proposed order that was not accurate.
Your Honor, I object to counsel's characterization of an order that was signed.
Proposed order, Mr. Sharp?
Your Honor, just because the state alleges that two completely separate things are somehow the same conflict doesn't make it so. We could allege completely unrelated crimes are somehow related and they wouldn't be admissible. Just because Ms. Love's saying it, there's no evidence to support it. The game and Lil Wayne are two completely separate individuals. They have nothing to do with each other.
And Your Honor, that does not make the video not relevant.
Subject to the proper foundation.
The judge just allows anything in the courtroom if they can lay a foundation. He rarely rules on anything and just says foundation.
You are seeing how this case plays out in real time, and you don't have the advantage that we have to know all the discovery. Now you know that this case, what this video purports to be, has nothing to do with any issue with Lil Wayne. And
right, I think what they're saying is, they're not saying this is Lil Wayne related. They're saying that it's for other purposes, such as to show the relationship purportedly between your client, between Mr. Williams.
Well, the tweet, Mr. Williams has nothing to do with the video. 5 expert witnesses, multiple fact witnesses, multiple videos, multiple social media posts, all put Mr. Stillwell as knowing and associated with Quindarius Zachary. There is no prosecutorial need to play a video that is full of unfair prejudice and undue prejudice, showing my client threatening someone who is completely unrelated to this case.
Oh, that same shit that got Big and Tupac killed. Look, pussy ass nigga, your bitch ass killed. Hey, gang, you bring pussy down here, you gonna see me? I'm at your neck.
He's saying, bring your whatever ass down here. The same shit that happened to Big and Tupac, you're going to get it too. So they're making these threats. They're not making these threats individually. You hear Mr. Zachary or one of his other co-conspirators sitting behind him saying, YSL for life. They are a criminal enterprise, that they are a criminal street gang, that they associate with one another and commit crimes in furtherance of that gang. They cannot stipulate away the state's reason for introducing this evidence.
Some other co-conspirator, as Ms.Love said, well, she can't even say who it was, a third party. Mr. Zachary did not say YSL on that video. It's a third party. And they can't even say who said it, but they're labeling them a co-conspirator. Additionally, there's no guns in this video. There's cell phones. They're not guns. We're just misrepresenting everything here, and we're just trying to throw it in this case, and it has nothing to do with this case. It's interesting. The state is now backing off and saying it's to show association. It's not involving Lil Wayne. It's to show association. Yet they're trying to introduce it while we're doing a Lil Wayne case, which I find interesting.
Dude, the jury's going to be so confused.
We literally argued the exact same thing at the last.
It's probative, but it may be more prejudicial. Because here's the thing. The game, here, listen, just listen. The game is not a participant, okay? All right? And I think you're running into kind of, if the game's not involved in this particular case, which he's not, then that's the court's viewpoint of that. I mean, it's more, it's the relevancy kind of gets skewed at that point. Okay, but what does it have to do with the Lil Wayne bus shooting?
So, Your Honor, we put in during the case.
What does it have to, what does this Finn Stillwell and Zachary have to do with the Lil Wayne bus shooting?
The game stepped into the beef between Thug and Wayne. Literally, he steps
So he inserted himself
into it. He comments on it verbally, outwardly, publicly.
But okay, so he does, but what does that have to do with them?
And so in response, that's what they said. To do with them, they are defending Thug and YSL, and they are threatening the game, telling him the same thing that happened to Biggie and Tupac was going to happen to the game. YSL for life. That's the whole point of it, Your Honor. And to say that because they claim it doesn't have anything to do with the Lil Wayne bus shooting lacks merit on 2 counts. They're proving the case for us, their own words.
So she's saying it's a threat towards the game. They were going to kill the game. Did the game ever get touched by YSL members? No.
Commenting on the evidence, and we're wrong. But additionally, Your Honor, I'm not arguing that it's a rap beef versus a real beef or anything like that. The state can say that I'm doing that. I'm arguing one thing very simply. It's irrelevant. Shouldn't have to argue one way or another because it shouldn't come in because it's irrelevant. The jury shouldn't have to consider one way or another. It's not a question for the jury because it's highly prejudicial.
Well, it's subject to foundation, so we'll see what as I mentioned here in my order.
Will the judge actually rule on it? No, he's going to say it's just they got to lay proper foundation to bring it in and make the game relevant in this case.
I'm going to take a look. I'm going to defer ruling on that issue. State 7 Zulu. I want to take a look at the transcript again. It would be subject to foundation.
Threatened that they are making threats on behalf of YSL to someone who's not a party, as you said, who hasn't done anything to anybody. Lil Wayne wasn't a party. He didn't do anything to anybody. And they're shooting at Lil Wayne. They're threatening game. We have other instances.
I can't believe this trial is real.
The YSL members acting in a way that furthers their purpose. Part of what lets you know that something is criminal street gang activity is when you assert the gang itself. This is a threat being made, a threat of violence. When you don't just say, I'm doing this, or you don't just go out and do something and cover your face and don't let anybody know.
He doesn't say YSL. But there is
No, but does he refute in the video, hey, I'm not one of these jokers?
Oh my God, he doesn't refute in the video saying, no, not for YSL. Other people in the car are saying YSL, not him.
YSL, your client is a YSL member who's offering violence on behalf of YSL, who, for purposes of fear, their notoriety, and they did post it on a public website.
These boys definitely self-snitched a little bit with these videos, but nothing happened to the game. They're trying to add these news articles that are written by this person right here, Ayanna Robertson. She better be testifying to be cross-examined. Apparently the game will fuck Young Thug up for Lil Wayne.
I'm going to agree that this is Mr. Dwayne Carter's actual Twitter account. I personally have seen nothing that recognizes it as his Twitter account. I'm not saying that Mr. Dwayne Carter, if it is his account, wrote those words. I'm not going to agree that it has anything to do with Mr. Williams. It says F, them, DEM, fake ASS thugs with an S, and then it says something about Slim. Word to Slim. I don't see the relevance.
So you're still objecting as to foundation, or authenticity?
Everything.
Or even though it has that purported like blue check mark?
Anyone can have parodies on Twitter now. That could be a fake tweet. It could be a Photoshop tweet. It could be a lot of things. It could be a deleted tweet that Wayne did.
And I have information that the state never even spoke with him. Never even attempted to speak with him. That could be wrong, but that's my information.
Brian Steele just said he has information from Lil Wayne's team that the state never reached out to them, calling out the state that they put Wayne's name on the witness list for just show. Whatever, the judge is going to let some of them in. Not sure which ones, we'll see next week, but we don't even know if the trial is going to start back up next week because of the juror. I'm sure they're going to find an alternate, but whatever. This trial is